Hello, 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 hello.
Hello, everybody. It's so glad to see you and so glad to see that we are, we're live. And we want to tell you that we are getting ready to uh, descend into our flight destination. So if everyone will please buckle up.
We're on a mission to get to the inauguration.
This is true. We are on the countdown. You are now on the Countdown Express, and we are on the 35th day of our countdown.
35 days. I think we can find our way there.
I think we can, and I think
We got a good pilot.
So as we descend into our destination, I want you to buckle up your seatbelt. Make sure your trays are put in upright position, and hope y'all had enough movies to watch for the last couple days as we got here. Although, before we go any further, I want to tell you we did have a few little obstacles, bumps in the road, little turbulence, as we had to kind of keep from hitting any drones on our way. So we were weaving a little bit in and out, and I'm just hoping that it did throw our GPS off so that we can be exactly where we need to be.
A little bit of turbulence. Not much, just a little bit.
So let's see what we are getting ready to see. If you will just now follow me to the outside of the plane, we will now get ready to go down the flight stairs, and we will get ready to good evening, KMM. It's so good to see you. I was just telling everybody that we have landed into our designated area. We had a few bumps, little turbulence in the road. We had to weave and duck and dive a few drones, but we're hoping it didn't throw off our GPS. And
we're on our way.
We're on our way
to the inauguration.
Yes, we're on our way
to
countdown. The inauguration. We're on the Countdown Express. And so we have landed, and the stairs are out.
We're just about to deboard.
Yes, we are.
And we made it just in time, so you can see where we landed.
All right.
Absolutely. Prayers for Madison, Wisconsin. I don't think we're in the right place.
I don't think we ended up where we were supposed to end up. I think our GPS is off. Where are we? Everything looks like it's in great destruction. It doesn't look like this place is much of around anymore. Where could we be? Does it look familiar to you, Linda?
I see crutches. There's crutches. It looks like it may be Syria to me.
I think we're in Syria. Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, this is not exactly where we expected to land. Although there is plenty of news coming out of Syria that we would like to report before we go into any kind of reboarding and changing our flight.
Well, we know that the president has fallen, and we know that he fled to Moscow. He's in Moscow
with Putin.
And we know that the regime that dethroned him is a wanted terrorist for $10 million by the United States of America. This we know.
This is scary.
We also know that nobody is running their country right now.
Well, look, there doesn't look like there's much to run.
And we know that since 2011 and 2012 and 2013, so for 11 to 12 years, men of certain ages has come up missing. And one of them, they sent a letter from the prison and told the mama, just forget you ever had a son. And they want to know what happened to their children, which, I mean, they're grown adults, but they want to know what happened to their sons. And I don't blame them. I'd want to know what happened to mine too. They would get pulled over at checkpoints. One was a bus driver. He was a bus driver and just disappeared.
Syria thought that they were going to be real smart and they were going to let out the Syrian rebels, who are, by the way, it would be like our biggest and worst in Florence, Colorado, the maximum security where the Unabomber is. And if I'm not mistaken, I do believe that Sirhan is there also. But the Unabomber is there. Everybody that has ever done any major, what is it? El Chapo is there also. So it would be like us letting all of these prisoners loose on a town of Denver.
Right.
And this is what has happened. And not only have they taken down Syria, but they have also demolished Damascus. It just happened that Syria was the place we landed because our GPS was off.
Those doggone drones.
Those doggone drones that we were dodging for the last couple days, trying to get you to a fantasy destination. We are now here in rubble and wreckage.
Now, can we say that this is a good thing for Syria or a bad thing for Syria? Well, dude's dad has been running the country since 1970.
It's time for new people.
And he took over, I want to say, in 2000. I'm not quite sure when the son took over, the one they just shoot out of the country. But it's one of those regimes they've been in there for 50, 60 years. Well, 50 years.
It's not good, y'all. It's not good. And this is all foretold in the Bible. And Damascus falling, unfortunately, was one of those things also. Oh, wait a minute. I think I'm getting something from headquarters here. This is flight 12025 coming to the airbase. What can I help you with? Yes, this is. We are on the Countdown Express. Well, thank you, sir. We're so glad to be here. We need to leave the landing. Well, we will get off the tarmac in just a few minutes, sir. We are exploring your area. It doesn't look like things have been very good. Oh, there's a lot of destruction. Well, that's kind of what we see. And in Damascus. So is it this whole area? And we have to be careful when we take off because there's a lot of drones. All right. Well, thank you so much, sir, for telling us that. We will only be here for just a little while. I will get back with you when we get ready to take off again. Thank you. Sorry.
Yep.
So, yeah, we're talking about those drones now. So, you think that those drones are Project Blue Beam?
I believe they could be.
I do too. And
I
if you're not,
believe, well, I believe that even President elect said that the military knows what they are and where they're coming from. But
I believe,
then you got the cuckoo crazy um news media, and they said, oh, they're coming from the ocean.
all right, now anybody with any horse sense knows that it can't be coming from the ocean, right? You can't just, and you can't dive into the ocean without making a splash. And these are supposedly great big. They said they were the size of a small SUV.
A small car.
Yeah. You think you can go into the ocean without making a splash? I have a hard time believing that. Project Bluebeam.
I don't know. Last time I checked, I don't think an aircraft quite meshes well with water.
I
With
don't think
the
so either.
propellers on it, that I mean, that'd be like a helicopter coming out of the water, and I can't see that happening.
Well, what they believe it to be is it's Project Bluebeam. And, Project COVID
Right.
had its own project there too.
Right.
And it was like, here, take your V, and here, let's everybody get one, and everybody wear a mask, and everybody do this, and everybody do that, and we're gonna.
That's a good question.
You know what? Project Bluebeam is our military,
Right.
and what they're trying to do is they're trying to scare the wheelies out of everybody, which they're doing a great job.
It's another distraction.
It's a distraction that they want everybody to be afraid so they can turn around and do another lockdown. All right. They want to do another lockdown and scare everybody to death. And then they'll say, get in your house and lock your door, and don't come out until we say it's okay. No, you're not going to do that to us again, because you know what? You're orchestrating this whole movie.
Well, it wouldn't last with the inauguration a month away.
No, no.
So they're not going to be able to do that, but it's a distraction for something. I can tell you guys that. It's definitely a distraction.
A distraction from them to give all of our money away and try to rile up some other people so that they're mad. But I'm going to tell you what I did get on late breaking news. It was very interesting. Is that, did you know that the president of Japan just talked to President-elect?
Yes.
And he said, I'm going to give you 100 billion jobs. And I'm going to give you 100, was it $100 billion?
$100 billion.
And then so many jobs.
100,000 jobs or something like that. 100,000 or 100 million jobs or something like that.
And President-elect said, do you think that you could give us 200 billion? And he started laughing. He said, you'd never make enough money for this man to not try to up you.
Mm-hmm.
We'll take it. We'll take it. We'll take the 200 billion, since we've given all of our so much money away, for Pete's sake.
Right. Well, people don't understand that he's already at work. Because he's already talked to over 100 different leaders of countries.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So he's already at work. While Rumbling Joe is up there saying he's leaving as a president, leaving this country in better condition than it was when he got in office.
Oh, and by the way, the real true unemployment rates have been told today, and they were said that California is in a bind. They have so much unemployment, they don't know what to do with it. And Texas is on the rise. you can't make this stuff up. He's just wasting time. Biden's wasting time. No, you know what? No, our president-elect is wasting no time. He's working on trying to settle this war and get this stuff over with before he ever gets in there.
Exactly.
You know, it's this
He
is
knows he's being held a shit pile.
well, he is. He is, and while he tries to keep putting out all these little fires all over everywhere that they're creating all over everywhere, then guess what? They're making another one and another one before he ever gets in there.
Oh, did you see the breaking news yesterday?
No.
Day before, Nancy Pelosi's in the hospital.
Yeah, she fell down those stairs and she broke her hip and she's had a hip replacement. Now I want to tell y'all this. When I was listening to that, I thought to myself, she was on marble stairs in stiletto high heel shoes at 85 years old. Now, did she slip and fall because she was drunk? Or did somebody push her down the stairs? Or did her hip just give out because she's so blasted old? I mean,
I think she was just too drunk for stilettos at 85 years old walking down marble steps.
I'm with you. That's what I think too. So now and you know who her biggest cheerleader is in the hospital, just cheering her on? AOC. AOC is over there just cheering her on. I mean, it's unbelievable.
You know what? It's to the point where really nothing's unbelievable anymore.
I know it. I know it.
You know, it's just a matter of craziness on the craziness level scale.
Well, maybe God put us here in Syria so we could take a look at what it could be. This could happen to us, y'all. This could happen to us in a heartbeat.
Yep.
This could be us. If he keeps pushing and poking the bear the way he's poking the bear, Putin's going to get upset and he's going to say, you know what, I don't care who the next president is. I've had it.
Although I will say a few areas do look like this from a hurricane that still is not, they still haven't cleaned up Key West from that one hurricane. What was it? 8 years ago, 7 years ago, there's still people living in trailers. FEMA's never helped them.
Well, and they're not helping the ones in North Carolina right now either. Mm-mm. They're living in tents, and social services are going out there and taking their children because they're not providing a good home for them. Well, how do you give a good home when your home was taken away by a natural disaster? You think about this. What would happen if there was a war? Would they come in and start taking our children? Where are they going to take them to? What are they doing with these children?
Well, we know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But the question is, where are they taking them? And what do they do once they become of age?
It's very scary. I'm telling you right now, it's very scary. And I'm going to tell you all something else that I told Linda today. And it was very shocking that they showed a house that Diddy had that he left. He abandoned it, but there was lots of parties going on there. And the feds have gone in because somebody told them to go check it out. And there were many bodies found buried in the backyard of this house.
Remember that story, KMM? That dream or vision that Connie had?
Mm-hmm. And I said it was a white house and it had great big, I went around the corner and it was great big plates of cement. Look at his abandoned white mansion, and they were in the backyard. They're digging them up right now in the backyard.
Yeah.
So it's a very scary thought, and they're getting away with all of this stuff. And I don't know. This is the year. This is the year that the truth is going to come out on everything, y'all. And I mean, everything's going to be revealed. The veil's going to drop, and everything's going to be seen as it is and what it is.
Yep.
And I don't know if, I mean, if we're all ready to know all of it, because Diddy is a dark wizard. He's a warlock, and he has been playing with black magic for a long time. And he thinks he's above the law.
Do you remember those? I'm sure you heard about this. Those three college boys that one girl said that they raped her. They were at an Ivy League school, and oh, I want to say they were on a lacrosse team or a soccer team or something. And this girl said that they raped her. All the three of them raped her, and they ended up losing, getting kicked out of school. And I believe they went to jail or anything. And 18 years later, she's sitting in jail and said she lied the whole thing.
Oh, that's terrible.
And she's sorry.
Well, sorry, don't do it now.
Mm-hmm.
If I was those lacrosse players, I'd be so doggone mad. You wouldn't be able to help me out. I'd be so mad.
Well, you lacrosse. Okay, thank you. Yeah, that just floors me. Just floors me that she got away with that for almost 20 years.
Well, here's the bad thing. When it comes to that, and a woman says it's happened, and if she has had intercourse before, it's kind of hard unless she goes right at that moment. After that moment, she can scream whatever she wants to, and it's her word against his. But most of the time, they believe the woman. And I hate to, it's people like that that makes it bad, because I would hate for people who have been that happened to them that they scream and they say, well, you know what, you don't have no evidence. It's
But wait a minute, though, Connie. Once upon a time, they didn't believe the women.
Yeah, now they're believing the women over the men, and
they shouldn't be.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Be believing all of the women.
Right. But then look what happened now. She said it happened and didn't.
Well, there's another one out there that's suing Jay-Z that she said that Jay-Z and Diddy raped her at a VMA party afterwards. I would like to know, how does somebody, an ordinary Joe like you or I, get invited to a high-profile VMA party?
Is that the one that was 14? Was that the one that was 14?
I'm not sure, but no, this is a new one. And she said that she was talking to the Madden brothers, that Benjamin Madden. He was or is married to Nicole Richie and his brother.
Okay, yeah.
And well, they're married now. But she was talking to him because she had just gotten a tattoo, and he's got a tattoo on his arm, I guess, of the Last Supper. I'm not sure. But they said they were never at a VMA party in 2000. And they were doing a show on the other side of town.
I believe you're right, Kevin. I think she was a stripper. Well, all right. Let's go here.
She's trying to go for the money.
Okay. we've got, not only do we have Diddy and his secret society, but then we have the Illuminati's. God only knows who they are and their secret society. But the Freemasons, which would be your Shriners and everybody that you know
Right.
that you love so much and you think so much of, have their secret society, and it's called the Jesters. And the Jesters have this little, they call it a Biblican or a Biblicon or something. It's a little baby looking thing, and he wears a crown, and he's in purple. And these jesters just fly around from one party to another with hookers having a big drunken party, and it's all politicians and people in high places, people that are police officers and this kind of thing. And it's very hush hush. You're not allowed to say anything about it. And it's like, wait a minute. I mean, that's a form of trafficking too. I'm just telling you,
Mhm.
y'all, there's a lot of things that are going to come to the forefront, and we're just
Yeah.
going to, what is all of this? All this was happening right under our nose, and we were never told about it. We were just led to believe. Is that what they think? We're just stupid? Well, apparently we were kind of stupid because we didn't think that people would do such things. And they are. And they are.
They've given a new meaning to the term liars.
Oh, yeah.
They're beyond.
Disgusting and perverts.
They're beyond liars.
Perverts. And, you know, just because you're a congressman that stands on the floor in Congress, that doesn't mean that you can go to a jester party and have a stripper and have a oral sex party contest and all this kind of stuff.
Right.
This is Sodom and Gomorrah's kind of stuff going on here.
This is stuff that you think some sicko in Hollywood came up and made a movie of. That's what this reminds me of. It's
Yeah.
just because I was once told that do not believe for 1 minute that this stuff doesn't happen that you see in the movies. They're telling the truth in the movies.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's a pre-sequel to what's going to happen in real life.
Right.
They kind of tell you about it, and then it happens. You're like, wait a minute, I think I saw that in a movie. Or is it really happening? And they're saying it's a movie. I mean,
Right.
it's kind of hard to believe. It is so hard for my brain to wrap around that people
Right.
like this.
Right. Yeah. No, I know. I'm at the same point. It's like, well, what the heck? Do people really do this? Are they that sick in this world?
You know, it makes you kind of aware of everything. You see a little boy that's like 3 or 4 years old, and you look over and you go, oh, he is so cute. The mother looks at you, and I'm like, no, I'm not like that. I'm not like that, please. It's like everybody's on their guard, everybody's on their watch, and I'm glad they are, but it's kind of sick that everybody's guarding their children the way they are, and they got to. I understand it. They got to. You don't have a choice.
Well, I mean, I've taken Ellie Mae to the store with me, and no big deal. And of course, all the older, like even like our mother's age, those kind of grandmothers' ages. They always stop and, oh, yeah, she's so cute, she's so pretty, blah 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 blah. But then every once in a while, I'll catch and she'll be looking off, and she'll be smiling and somebody's back there waving at her or something, and I just look and they're like, I'm sorry, she's just so cute. And it's like, that's fine if you're just, but
Don't touch her.
right. Stay
Just
far enough distance.
right. Right. You know, these are things, I don't know how y'all feel, but when I was 16 years old, if somebody would have told me what I hear right now at 16 years old, I would have never believed it. I'd have never believed it. It would have been so shocking to me. I wouldn't have known what to think because I guess we just kind of lived in our own little bubble.
Well, here's a story for you. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Here's a story for you. I was born and raised in the suburbs. And when I was 16 years old, I met my first husband, and he was 15, and he lived in the heart of the ghetto. You want to talk about people really live like this? That was my mindset at 16 because I was in that situation. I
Wow.
removed myself from the suburbs and put myself in the ghetto, and it's like, oh my God, people really do live like this. Wow. Because those are all stories that I used to hear.
It's unbelievable to know that there are people out there that want to do those kind of things to a child that is 2 years old.
Folks, when I got married the first time, I lived down the street from a 2-time murderer.
It's all about power.
He was 70 years old, and he had done 2 life sentences, which back then life was 25 years. I don't know if it still is.
Right.
But life was 25 years, and he had done 2 25-year sentences.
Okay, ma'am, it's all right. I'm so glad you were able to stop in. I love you. I hope you had a great weekend. Prayers goes to the families in Madison, Wisconsin today. I will say my prayers for them.
Absolutely. Have a good night.
I love you, and I will see you tomorrow if you're available. Yeah, it's unbelievable. You don't know who your next door neighbor is. You don't know what your next door neighbors are doing.
No, and then I didn't know what I didn't know, which after, I left him and all that and moved out of there and moved back to the suburbs. I didn't know that all the neighbors would watch me to make sure I got from my car and into the house and from the house into my car. I did not know that. I had my own little security team going on because they all knew I wasn't from that area. And I was just a young teenager. I didn't pay attention to my surroundings.
No, because no one ever thought at that time in that day and age that things were like this were going on. We had no idea.
Exactly. Exactly.
And we didn't have no Amber Alert.
No.
That everybody could hear every day. It goes off on my phone every day, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day. And I'm like, I don't know what to say. I'm just speechless on how.
Back then when we were younger too, though, most of the time when kids came up missing, it was for rich families and they wanted ransom, and then they got the kid back.
Right. Or it was a divorced couple fighting over the kids and the husband or the wife had taken them.
Right.
But now
the opposite, the husband, the wife, the girlfriend, the boyfriend, or whatever, they just take them and kill them. If I can't have them, you won't either. What the hell is that?
Right.
When did we get to that point?
Well, and then they turn around and say, God told me to do it.
Right.
The women are saying now, God told me to do it. Susan Smith said, I felt like God would take care of them better than I did. I could. And I thought,
that's a lame excuse.
So you had children and you decided that it was God's responsibility to take care of them. You couldn't take care of them. You couldn't put them up for adoption and let somebody else take care of them. Oh,
You
wait.
couldn't just let your husband have them and you go be the slut.
Right, right. And the husband wanted them, and you couldn't let them have them. You couldn't let it. Oh no, couldn't do that because you know why? Because that's just too much. If I can't have them, you can't have them.
Well, no, because she probably would have had to end up, and she just didn't want anything to do with them. She didn't want to have to visit them or anything. And there's people that do that all the time. You could have
Well,
just walked away. There's mothers that have walked away. I mean, look at Princess Diana. Her mother walked away, never looked back.
well,
And that was
um, you got 35-year-old men that are saying right now, I wouldn't be seen with 14-year-old. Are you kidding me? But you'll see a 72-year-old man say, I would be with an 18-year-old in a heartbeat.
and why is it okay for older men to be with younger women, but it's not okay for older women to be with younger men?
Oh, that's going on too now. Look at Demi Moore.
But why is that not okay?
Well, I think that doesn't matter whether you're male or female. I think that that member, that one teacher, she was with that guy and she did time in prison and then came out and she married him, and they're married right now.
No, they're divorced.
Oh, did they get a divorce?
Oh,
But she had another couple kids from him.
Yeah, they've been divorced. I mean, she died actually. She had cancer and she died.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know she died, but I know she got married to him.
Yeah, and after so many years, they got divorced, and then she got cancer, and he took care of her, and she died.
Wow, I didn't know that she had died.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But she
But
said he was her soulmate, and there was about 30 years difference between them, and he was her soulmate.
If my thing is this, you can love who you love as long as it's within boundaries. If you're both consenting adults.
Correct.
And I can also understand these girls that want to be with older men and they lie about their age. But you know what? They should get in trouble, not the men.
Yeah, because they push it. A lot of times these young girls push it.
I mean, when I was 15 years old, I had a fake ID and I was getting into bars. I passed for 18.
That's where all the stuff was happening.
I passed for 18 years old when I was 15.
Wow.
And then when I got to be 18 and 21, they were carding me. Thinking, wow, you look like you're 15, 16 years old. Go figure how that works. But anyway.
So I got younger as I grew older. That's pretty good.
I guess.
You must have found that fountain of youth. I'm telling you, you must have found the fountain of youth.
I wish.
I wish I could find it right now.
I wish I could find something.
Well, what does it matter at this point? I mean, now I'm just so glad that all of this is coming out and everybody is beginning to see the difference.
Right.
So, I just, there's so much out there that makes your hair curl and you think to yourself, well, Diddy's sons are in trouble now too.
Yeah.
Like father, like son. I guess the apple don't fall far from the tree.
Right. Yep.
I don't know what to say. All I got to say is, y'all, it's disturbing. And you need to put your hat on and you need to watch what's going on around you. And you got to listen close to what they're saying so that you can read between the lines. It's a scary world we live in right now. And
things really, really, if you go back and think about it, in the last almost 100 years, how things have changed. Because, I mean, look at How many wars were there for how many years after World War II? None. There was no wars for a long, long time.
Yeah.
For a long time. And then all of a sudden, they're piping up here and piping up there. And it's like, this is ridiculous.
Well, this is a little bit kind of off the subject, but I'm going to say it anyway, and then I'll get your take on it. But you know, ever since Adam and Eve, it's always been the woman's fault, right? Nobody ever gave the woman any slack because it's been the woman's fault 'cause she bit the apple. And I was thinking about it the other day, and I thought, way back in the Victorian times, how come they didn't have a chastity belt for a boy?
Well, because girls were supposed to save themselves and they didn't want them to be influenced by the boys. Like,
But the boys could run free, and that was okay.
mm-hmm.
No, it's not. That's where I'm not a women's liberator by any means, but I am going to say that I think that what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And if you're going to put a lock and key on me, then dang it, you need to put a lock and key on your son too.
I think that was just for I don't think everybody had one. I think it was just for promiscuous girls that could have gotten themselves in trouble, or for husbands that didn't trust their wives.
See, it's still though.
I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that's my take on it.
I understand what you're saying. I just think it's awful.
Yeah.
What would happen if they lost the key?
I'm sure it's happened.
You're walking around the rest of your life all locked up like Fort Knox.
Well, no, they would have to cut it off. But imagine how hot that metal gets when you're cutting it.
Oh, I just, see, you start thinking about all that kind of stuff.
And that was before really power tools. So what did they use?
Well, maybe they had a locksmith.
Maybe. I'm sure they did.
But I don't know, because can you imagine the husband don't trust anybody, but he's going to get a locksmith to come in and get in his wife's coochie and get the lock?
I don't know.
I mean, I could go on all day long about that kind of stuff, because I was thinking about that, thinking, man, maybe we need to bring back the chastity belt again. Oh my God, can you imagine what would happen in these days?
Mm-hmm.
It couldn't happen because it's the Me Too movement, or the B4 movement, or the 4D movement, or whatever it is now. I don't even know anymore.
Well, and the thing too is, people may not have ever really thought about it either, but did anybody ever think that that was a way of them protecting their daughter so they didn't get raped?
Well, you could go on that side. I'd rather think that side than to think that they were trying to have power and control over them.
Right.
I feel like women were power and controlled forever.
Well,
it
could very well have been so that people, I'm sure it happened, and I'm sure it didn't happen very often.
Mm-hmm.
But it could very well have been to protect their daughters.
Yeah, because I'm sure the diseases at that point were pretty rampant in that era. Also, they just didn't know what it was.
Right.
I don't know.
There were thousands that would die from gonorrhea and syphilis.
Oh yeah. And probably other stuff they didn't have any idea.
Mm-hmm.
All right, people, I'm going to shut this door down, and we're getting ready to close up this plane so we can get ready to go into a different area. I just think that I don't know. I mean, all of this stuff has been since the beginning of time. Some kind of
Which
good
kind of makes you think,
struggle.
I mean, if you think about it, where it's come in the last 2024 years, it's how is it accelerating so fast now, but went so slow for hundreds of years?
Right. Because
That's
it's
the
all
part
been there
that's the part I'm not getting. I'm not understanding why it took them so long.
to
And now
find it.
it's just like zoom, 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 technology, this. But it took hundreds and hundreds of years to build a house that wouldn't blow away. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, and now all of a sudden, all these people are coming forward saying, "Hey, you know what? This is what's going on at these parties." It's fascinating, isn't it? It's just totally fascinating to me how all of a sudden it's like we can just
Yeah.
we can get all this news, and it's like burns your brain up.
Right.
It's so heavy weighted. You're just like, what do you mean? There's old men out there doing hookers at a party
Right.
4 times a year, and they think they're all right. You know, just because they're a millionaire doesn't mean that they should be able to do this kind of stuff.
No.
You know, we still got to have morals, and we still got to have some kind of morals,
Yeah.
some kind of loyalty, some kind of faith. It's just disgusting. I just kind of look at it. I can just imagine. I think we're Sodom and Gomorrah 2.0.
Yeah.
You know, if we can, we'll just sell them. We'll
Right.
traffic. We'll do whatever we need to do to them.
Right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain, and I am getting ready to take this bird and put it up in the air. I'm going to go ahead and let my co-pilot give you the instructions on safety.
Fasten your seatbelt.
Mhm.
Put your entrees in the upright position. Put your seats back in the upright position. If for any reason we hit turbulence or drones, we will turn the fasten your seatbelt sign still on. If you're going to stay in your seat, keep seated and keep your seatbelt on. There are snacks available, and we will come through with drinks in a little while. Enjoy your flight with Captain Connie, and we will head off in our next to our next destination in the next few minutes.
It's been a pleasure, y'all, having you aboard the Countdown Express as we are looking at 35 days right now. We will be looking at 34 tomorrow as we ascend into the skies. And we hopefully will end up in a much lovelier place tomorrow.
We're trying to get our way first to the inauguration.
That's where we're working. We're
That's
working our
where we're
way to
heading.
the inauguration, and
So,
we're going to have us a good time in
yeah,
progress.
yes. It'll be a bumpy road for the next 35 days. But
And yep, and we will bring to you whatever news is going on at this point, wherever it may be, and sit back and relax and enjoy yourself because it's going to be a fascinating trip. Y'all take care. Love you.
love you. Have a great day. Night.